Hello, my name is Sandrine Belon. I am the author of Extravagant Grace, How I Gave Birth 4 Times Without Pain. Yes, I am the author of Extravagant Grace. Today, I want to encourage somebody. I want to share my testimony with somebody who is going to be listening to this video. I want to encourage you and let you know that God is still performing miracles. He is still working wonders. So please don't give up. Listen to this testimony, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to boost your faith. It's going to encourage you. When I was pregnant with my daughter, who is now 10 years old and soon to be 11 years old, I was diagnosed with a condition called placenta previa. This condition is when the placenta comes before the baby. It's a very critical condition because you don't want to go in labor, because if you go in labor, you might bleed to death. Your life is at risk and the life of the baby is at risk also. It was a very critical condition, and especially given the fact that I had received a promise from God back then that I was going to give birth without pain. So when I got diagnosed with this, it was really difficult for me to handle. I didn't know what to do. I was in fear. I was scared of what was going to happen, but I overcame that fear through prayer. I want to tell somebody here that prayer works. If there is somebody to pray, God is there to listen to your prayer, and I believe in the God who answers 100% prayer. So I prayed to God and thought that that condition was going to go away, that He was going to switch things. So on that night, that very night prior to the last ultrasound that was supposed to be done to schedule the C-section, on that night, I did not sleep that night. I spent that night in prayer, in meditation, just thinking about what was going to happen the following morning. And I prayed a specific prayer. I told God, Lord, you made me a promise. You said that I was going to give birth without pain. But this here is a situation. They are saying that, the doctor is saying that there is a condition called placenta previa. I don't really understand what that is. I don't know how it's going to work, but this was not in our contract. So please, how can somebody give birth by a C-section without having pain? And by the way, how can they cut somebody open and they don't feel any pain? And by the way, Lord, I don't want to feel any pain at all. I do not want to be cut open. I want to deliver my baby vaginally. That's how I did my prayer. That prayer didn't last more than a minute. I just prayed that short prayer. Immediately after I finished praying that, I started feeling things moving inside of my belly. I believe the baby was just repositioning herself. My daughter, she was just repositioning herself in my belly. The placenta was going back to its normal state. It was like something was like things were turning around in my belly as I finished that prayer. Immediately when I finished that prayer. So when my husband woke up in the morning, I told him, darling, I think something switched, something has changed in my belly. He just looked at me like, how do you know? I said, well, I prayed last night, and I felt like things were turning in my belly. And the following morning, I went to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I remember just, driving slowly and parking in the parking lot, and then I had to take stairs and go up for the last ultrasound. I got to the room where they were supposed to do the ultrasound, and I just remember the face of the doctor who was performing the ultrasound. She was shocked because she had the file in her hands and she couldn't believe what she was seeing. The file was saying something, but what she was seeing was completely different. She kept asking me what my name was, and I kept telling her what my name was. I just knew right there that God had performed a miracle. And it was true. God had performed a miracle. I kept asking her, so what is going on? What do you see? She kept pushing me like, what? Stop asking me questions, you know. At some point I stopped, but then I had to meet my doctor, the gynecologist, who said, lady, just go home and wait for the big day. You are not going to have a C-section. The baby is back to wherever he was supposed to be, so you are going to give birth vaginally. This is the God I'm talking about. That God answers prayers. It doesn't have to take 10 hours. You don't have to fast 24 hours, 7. That God, if you are genuine, if you believe it in your heart and you say it with your mouth, He will surely do it. I want to tell you today that God is still performing miracles. He still answers prayers. I gave birth a month later with my daughter, you know, vaginally, and that without pain. If you want to hear more about this testimony, I want you to go ahead and just purchase my book. The name of the book, the title of the book is Extravagant Grace, How I Gave Birth 4 Times Without Pain by Sandy Below. You're going to be blessed with all the testimonies, the amazing testimonies that are in the book. And you just have to tap into the grace of God that I have received and that I have published, you know, book for everybody to tap into it. So I encourage you here today, don't give up, keep talking to God, keep expressing yourself, keep confessing what you want to see. My senior pastor, Bishop Daliso J. Johnson, usually says spiritual things are voice activated. Don't stop claiming your blessings because God has already blessed you, okay? Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, go ahead and share, okay? Thank you so much.